Everyone, today we're gonna do a video in top 10. That looks weird. Okay, top 10. Let's start recording. Okay, top 10. Full screen.
Do you want any more? Is that going to be enough?
I'm fine. It's recording.
An animal video. I'm Danny Burke. I know you guys love animal videos, but I didn't think Javan tiger. This time interesting, and many of you extinct animals part 2. Starting off at number 10, we have the Javan tiger. This tiger subspecies was named.
It looks like a normal tiger. Yeah. Is that him? No. Yeah.
Native to the Indonesian island of Java. It was a lot smaller than its Asian cousins on the mainland. Now despite this, they were no less scary to the local people there, who would respectfully call them Mr. Tiger in case one of them was ever listening. As the human population there swelled in the early 20th century, the Javan tiger retreated to the mountains where they preyed on deer and wild boar. That's where the last ones were sighted in 1976, and despite huge searches for them since then, it's thought they went extinct not long after. And next up at number 9 now, we have the sea mink. Have you guys ever heard of or seen in real life a
sea mink? Is this a sea mink?
A real fur mink coat?
What? Oh, that looks so pretty.
They used to be very popular. The thing is, they were made from the fur of the sea mink. This creature was named.
That looks like an otter. It's an otter.
Native to the coasts of Maine and New Brunswick. They were longer and bulkier than other mink species, which made their coats almost twice as big. Because of this, they were hunted to extinction somewhere between 1860 and 1870, meaning any mink coat you see made from a sea mink is going to be pretty old indeed. Moving on to our number 8 now, we have the great auk. This flightless bird lived in the colder parts of coastal Canada, Greenland, Iceland, and other European fringes. It might look a bit like a penguin, but it really
that does not look like a penguin. Too furry.
Wasn't. These things mated for life. They lived in dense.
No way that's a penguin. That is no way a penguin. Yeah, that is furry. It's not
Colonies and laid just one single egg.
There's a 4 different types of eggs.
On a bare rock. It lived alongside humans for about 100,000 years, but by the early 20th century their numbers were dwindling. In a cruel twist of fate, museums wanting to preserve their eggs for display only sped up their extinction, and the last one was seen in 1852. Coming in at number 7 now, we have the Takopa pupfish. This tiny critter could only be found.
So in 1852, that penguin was last seen. Well, that was a long time ago, 1852, 2017.
Found in 2 single hot springs in the Mojave Desert in California. They were trapped there when nearby lakes evaporated over the past 10,000 years and had lived there ever since. They were small, just over an inch or so in size, but
that's a normal fish. Yeah. We might see. It's 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. Straight. No, that's not.
Were incredibly heat resistant. They could quite happily live in waters of up to 43 degrees Celsius or more. Sadly, being good
43 degrees Celsius.
It's well hot.
with heat isn't everything when it comes to survival. Humans modified the area around.
Who are you? 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 Especially who is she? 2 years later. Who are you? Who are you? Who are you? Who you are? Who you are? When we get to this ugly person. Especially who is she? Who are you? Who are you? Who are you? Who are you? You look ugly. Who are you?
Them to build bathhouses at the springs and inadvertently introduced invasive fish species as well, leading to the Takopa pupfish being declared extinct in the early 1970s. At number 6 now, we have the Puyuhai bird, also known as the black-faced
You said poo. Really?
honey creeper. The Puyuhai bird was discovered in Hawaii for the very first time in 1973. One of the reasons it took so long to discover them was
I'm recording. but I'm thirsty.
Just how small the population was. In 1980, scientists estimated the population to be just 140 birds. With such small numbers, it seemed they really started to suffer from human development in Hawaii. They lost their territory, they were eaten by human-introduced mammals such as cats, and died to new diseases. The last wild Puyuhai bird was seen in 2004, and tissue samples were taken to potentially clone it back into existence in the future. Moving on to number 5 now, we have the Canarian oyster catcher. The Canary Islands off the coast of West Africa are home to many amazing species, and the oyster
Or maybe not. Yeah, what's that? Hidden places people find in their home. Yeah.
Hello and welcome back.
That dog, she's never funny. She's never funny. Okay, guys, we're back. Sorry. Okay, we're back. We did that by accident, sorry, guys. So we're back. We actually changed the.
We like to think that we know our own homes like the back of our hands, but
What? Sometimes they can be a hidden place that you had no. Be a hidden place that you know.
sometimes there can be a hidden place that you had no idea about. You might just inspect the walls of your house a little more carefully
After you see the secret hidden places people found in their homes.
after you see these secret hidden places people found in their homes, especially since some of them
Where are they? Well, there's a little bit of green there. This isn't really.
held hidden valuables. One thing we would never want to keep hidden is that subscribe button. Make sure you press it so you don't miss out on new videos from the richest.
Ooh, sad.
Painting. Brothers Don Jr. and Dave Trachty inherited a house when their father passed away. While real estate is always a nice thing to have, this house held a secret that ended up being incredibly valuable.
What?
You see, their father, Don Trachty, had gone through a contentious divorce from the boy's mother some years ago. When he knew that his marriage was failing, he decided to do whatever was necessary to keep his prized possession from ending up in the hands of his soon-to-be ex-wife. In 1960, he had spent $900 on a Norman Rockwell painting called Breaking Home Ties. He painstakingly recreated the painting and presented the duplicate to the public, hiding the real one away. One day, his sons noticed that a portion of the wall of their new home looked peculiar and discovered that it was a fake wall hiding a secret room. In that room, their father had stashed the original painting. Their father's plan had worked, and he was able to pass down his beloved painting to his two sons, who promptly sold it at auction. Hey, fatherly love doesn't pay the bills. It sold for an astonishing $15.4 million, a record-breaking price for a Rockwell painting. Mosque. Most apartments are pretty simple and straightforward when it comes to their layout, and while we may find some unpleasant surprises if the previous tenant didn't clean thoroughly, secret rooms aren't something we expect to find, especially since our landlords would have probably charged us more for them. However, a couple of journalists, Giuseppe Cadilli and Valeria Giarusso, bought an apartment near the Royal Palace of Palermo in Rome. Like so many of us, they meant to do renovations, but they kept getting put off for about 8 years. When they finally got around to it, they noticed that some of the plaster on a certain wall had become moist. When Cadilli began to clean the plaster off, he realized that there was Arabic writing underneath it. The couple was startled and excited by their discovery and contacted a restoration expert to find out what was going on. It turns out that this entire room was a secret place hiding right in plain sight. It was actually a mosque built by the first owner of the apartment. The exquisitely decorated walls were covered in gold and silver calligraphy. This discovery was the first of its time, as a mosque built inside a private dwelling like this had never before been seen in Sicily. Toxic mold. While some secret rooms are filled with expensive treasures or historical significance, others are hiding less than pleasant surprises.
Actually, you doing it. Toxic mold.
Just ask Jason and Carrie Brown, who purchased a foreclosed home in Greenville, South Carolina for $75,000. That may seem like a bargain price, but sometimes you get what you pay for. When inspecting their new house, they found a secret corridor hidden behind a bookshelf. Instead of leading to Narnia or at least a room full of treasure, they found only a note from the previous homeowner. The front of the note read simply, "You found it." Undoubtedly, the new homeowners were curious and excited when they opened the note, but their excitement quickly turned to panic. The note explained that the house was infested with a serious black mold problem which had driven the previous owners away after it had begun making their children sick. They even included an email address so the Browns could contact them and verify the story. After having the house tested, it turned out that the previous owners were telling the truth about the mold. They had notified their mortgage lender about the issue, but when they received no answer, defaulted on the mortgage and moved. But thankfully, the warning note prevented the Browns from getting sick, and they are currently taking action against the realtor that sold them the property.
Okay.
The Darwin House.
Darling.
Having a
Yeah. I think I have to do the rest in the next video because we have did it too long. It's been 10 minutes and it's 2 videos. So, bye!